Welcome into the Thunder Basketball Universe presented by COOP Ale Works. The team has returned from its one-game road trip in Memphis after that long 4-game homestand, and for the second consecutive game have ended on a win at the buzzer.
Yes, very tight win. This was less dramatic than the Clippers' victory with Shea's shot going down as the buzzer sounded, but the Thunder had to gut this one out in Memphis, and it was a really strong display of kind of the opposite side of what you need to do in terms of execution and crunch time. So nice job.
Yeah, and John Morant was back for the Grizzlies, his first game back after, being out for quite some time. And so Thunder really had to execute and got off to a slow start even in that game, had to fight their way back from down 16 points, which, Gallo, that is the 6th game this season for the Thunder, winning the game after trailing by 15 or more points, a league-leading mark.
They've been the comeback kids, and it's just been one of those displays of something that Mark and the players have talked about all season long, which is it's a 48-minute game, and we have to play all 48 minutes to the final whistle. There's been that sort of mentality of like, you guys might be up, but you're going to have to leave your starters in and win this one all the way through. We're going to push you to the limit, and sometimes when teams slip, the Thunder's been able to catch them.
And it takes everybody on the floor in order to do that. And so I think we should go into You Could Say That again and start talking about some of the guys that made a big impact in this game.
No doubt about it. Okay. My quote is, if anybody that's Australian has the ball on an inbounds pass, you should probably cut hard and have your hands ready.
This is a great quote, and I'll never forget it. That's Mark Dagnall.
So this was after the Memphis game, and it was about Josh completing, I believe, 3 inbounds passes that led directly to points. Usually on an inbounds pass, teams are struggling just to get the ball inbounds, just to safely complete the pass without it being a turnover and get into some sort of offensive action. On 3 occasions, including one of the biggest moments in the game with the Thunder up by just 1 point, Josh Giddey passed a guy open right into a layup or an easy bucket.
And it was such a simple pass. That was what just got my attention is, Josh is known for the flashy, eye-catching, highlight passes. But that pass to Shea for the dunk on the inbounds was nothing but a chest pass.
Two-handed pass just led Shea into space. The Grizzlies were overplaying. They have one of the most aggressive defenses in the entire league. That's why they came in with 10 or more steals, I think, in 6 straight games. And, as a result of that, the Thunder kind of knew inherently, they didn't even have to talk about it, Shea and Josh. They just knew, okay, they're going to overplay. Let's dart towards the cup, and Josh, with his height and his acumen and accuracy, was able to deliver the pass.
Yeah, and that goes to show that a lot of the work that Josh does for these passes, it happens on the front end. Right. It happens as soon as he knows he's going to take the ball out. And Mark Dagnall went on to talk a little bit more about this. He knows he's taking the ball out anytime there's a side out of bounds or a baseline out of bounds. So he's kind of assessing as he's walking to the sideline or the baseline. He's looking around to see, okay, what's going on here? How are they set up? What they're probably going to overplay Shea. All of that's happening before he grabs the ball and slaps it to initiate the action.
Yeah, and I think, a lot of this, of course, is innate, but Josh has learned a lot in the 27 games that he's played so far this season. It's the ability to learn from some great plays that you've had and from mistakes. I think back to the home comeback win over the Lakers when Josh had that turnover to Carmelo Anthony that almost spelled doom, but he was very hard on himself after that, really wanted to make sure that he didn't make those types of mistakes again. And what we're seeing now is just even more precision from a guy who's 19 years old and set a career high in assists last night against the Grizzlies.
I was just about to point out his stat line. His second straight game of just really a well-rounded performance, 19 points, 11 assists, 5 boards. Just an indication of just how impactful he can be all over the floor.
Yeah, yet another game of 15, 5, and 5. If you span across the 2 games since we podcasted last, the win on Saturday against the Clippers and then on Monday against the Grizzlies, he's got 27 points, 23 rebounds, and 21 assists combined in those 2 games. That is sensational. The only guys that were rookies in recent memory to do that were Luka Doncic and I believe Lonzo Ball. Yeah. Yep. So, in good company as the number 6 pick in the draft.
Very good company, and another really, really strong performance from Josh Giddey all around throughout the game. Oh, let's not skip over the second quarter that he had.
Oh, yeah, great point.
Yeah, because the Thunder was down 16 points after, getting off to a really slow start. Memphis just took advantage and just kept building on the lead, piling on the lead in that first half. And it took a solid run in that second quarter by the Thunder to help close that gap, stabilize the game, and Josh Giddey was a key factor in that.
Major catalyst. He had 14 points and 3 assists in that quarter alone, accounted for 21 of the Thunder's 31 points in that quarter. And, something that we've seen Mark and the coaching staff toy with is like playing Josh and Shea all their minutes together.
Right.
Playing Josh staggered in that second unit a little bit deeper and longer in the second quarter. Kind of just depending on what was needed, figuring out ways to stagger those guys and maximize them. And Josh was really able to take charge in that second quarter.
Yeah, I remember talking to David Akinyoye just on the broadcast at halftime, and I asked him specifically like what led to the change of events, being able to close the gap. He didn't mention Josh specifically, but he told me, yeah, we were really getting off the ball early. And that sounds a lot like, what they've challenged Josh to do, which is get that blender going, get the offense rolling. And that's what he does. He's able to make those simple passes that kind of just initiate ball movement on the offensive end.
That's innate for him for sure. Mm-hmm. Okay, Paris, hit us with yours.
All right. He was just a factor in the air.
It's our guy, Darius Bazley.
It's about Darius. Yes. And it was Mark Daigneault talking about Darius.
Right.
And I just really wanted to point out Darius in this game because this is the second game for him where he's come off the bench. And he provided quite the punch in this game. He had 10 points and 7 rebounds. But where he was a factor in the air was his 4 blocks, which Darius leads the Thunder in blocks. He is top 20 in the league in blocks per game. And again, we're just seeing how he is able to just implement his length and size and athleticism in multiple ways on the floor.
Yeah, his last 2 games, double figures in both of those games. He hadn't had back-to-back double-figure games in a few weeks. And then, 6 combined block shots over the course of 2 games. The Thunder utilized him as basically the backup center in last night's game against Memphis. Very clever, smart way to utilize him, especially because Memphis goes a little bit smaller in that second unit. And Bazley was just a menace on the glass and as a rim protector.
It's just like it was all over. Just in the air was very accurate because it seemed like he was just like skying in for a lot of these boards and rebounds and just being present for a lot of them. And even though maybe he might not get every single one, the fact that he was just in the mix for a lot of those says a lot about how Darius is, approaching that angle of his game. Is I'm going to go in there, I'm going to compete, and I'm going to fight for it. And I know I have the athleticism to come up with a few.
And this is why the Thunder and Mark Daigneault and everybody and Darius himself are like not afraid to change things up, try new things.
Right.
I mean, the whole point of having young teams like this is you're continuing to explore. You have to uncover what the possibilities are with each of these players. With Bazley in this move to, potentially playing a little bit more of that backup 5, we'll see how much of that actually happens moving forward. But it really reminds me of what the Thunder was able to do with Jeremy Grant years ago. This was a guy that came into the league thinking that he was a small forward, Jeremy Grant, I mean. Over the course of his time with the Thunder, he played some power forward. He played that backup center spot. He was a little bit too small to ever sort of be in that starting center role. But when you got to crunch time, when you needed to really space the floor and spread out, he was this incredible like swing player that could give you minutes from the 3 to the 4 to the 5. And as the Thunder continues to develop Darius Bazley, I'm not comparing him to Jeremy Grant 1-to-1, but these are the types of things that you can continue to explore with Baze and figure out, okay, what pitches can we throw with him throughout the course of games?
And it's because they have this mindset of being flexible and creating this flexibility for themselves. One thing Mark Daigneault said, he said, we don't want to create these self-imposed restrictions, right? So we don't want to box ourselves in just for the sake of keeping things the way that they are and the way that they have been. We want to be willing to change things up so that we can explore the roster and explore the range that these guys have. Putting Darius in the second unit is also helpful to see how Darius, it handles, being that 5 spot and handling different lineups and different matchups and coming off of the bench too. So it's really a growing opportunity for Darius and also the entire roster just to get a different look at different player combinations out there on the floor.
Really maximizing the group and maximizing Darius within that group structure. And if you think about some of Darius's most pertinent qualities, the things that really make him unique, it's the rim protection.
Yeah.
And it's the ability to attack off the dribble. And some of those things might be able to be maximized more at the 5 spot, and on some nights maybe at the 4 spot, some nights at the 3. I mean, it's going to be a really fascinating situation to see as he continues to learn more about himself in this role.
Yep. And one more thing before we just completely leave this topic. 37 bench points for the Thunder. Darius obviously had a big role in that. He had 6 in the first quarter when the Thunder was just really looking for some offense. Finished the game with 10 points, obviously. But Kenrich Williams, 13 points, 5 of 6 from the field. Just, Kenny Hustle doing what he does. But big minutes from the Thunder's second unit, and Darius was a big part of that.
No doubt about it. Got to shout out Poku. Also, big time effort, energy plays from him in that second unit. Really encouraging to see. Don't look at the points spot on the box score. Look at the other things because he filled it up.
He sure did. And fun to watch as always. Had a nice little behind the back pass in the corner.
Yep.
You always got to keep your eyes open there for that Poku. All right. Should we go and name that dude?
Let's do it.
All right. You go first.
All right. My guy, his stat line is 21 points, 6 of 11 shooting, 3 of 4 from 3.
3 or 4 from 3.
Big shout out to our guy Chris Josephson hitting us with the early morning notes to help me come up with this one.
Yeah. Also, 3 or 4.
I'll give you a hint. This is not in one game. It's not in one game.
Okay.
It's across the last 3 games.
3 games.
Yes.
21 points, 6 of 11 from the field.
And it's only during a subset of the game. It's during the last 5 minutes of the game, which we call clutch time.
Is this Shai?
It is Shai.
It's Shai.
Yeah. So while Josh maybe had a little bit of a louder game against Memphis, Shai was absolutely critical down the stretch against the Grizzlies. These are his crunch time numbers over the last 3 games. So that's when in the final 5 minutes of a game, the score is within 5 or fewer points.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about the Thunder's last 3 games, the last 5 minutes were pretty much all crunch time against New Orleans, against the Clippers, against Memphis. These were very tight games, and Shai delivered, and he delivered efficiently.
Well, let me add to this conversation because my name that dude is 8 of 10.
Okay.
This is also Shai, but not in the way that you think. He was responsible for 8 of the Thunder's last 10 points by either scoring or assisting. So we're on the same page here. That was his performance yesterday against the Grizzlies. And like you're saying, just his ability to facilitate in crunch time is something that he has been working on since his rookie season and from the first time he was with the Thunder. You remember like those times when he got down to crunch time and you could tell that he was, trying to analyze and be that game manager. We're seeing him grow and develop, and now, the fruits of his labor is clearly present right now.
I've got one more stat for you.
Oh boy.
Shai scored the final 3 points for the Thunder on Saturday against the Clippers with that three ball that won the game. We haven't podcasted since then, and I feel like I need to just keep bringing it up how awesome that sidestep 3-pointer was at the buzzer, and Nicholas Batum was somewhere
in the paint.
Yeah, south of the Oklahoma City River, I think. So,
there is a picture that Zach Beaker took, our team photographer. It is perfect. I want it framed.
Yeah.
It's just Shai Gilgeous-Alexander holding his follow through in midair, and there is nobody else in the frame. No, that is just how much separation he created. I think it's on the Thunder Twitter page or maybe even Instagram. You should go check it out. Just go look for it because it is a beautiful picture.
There were plenty of fans sitting on the front row that were closer than any Clippers defender to guarding Shai on that one.
Yes, absolutely. But it just goes to show that Shai is learning too. Shai is developing and growing as a playmaker and a decision maker too. And his performance over these past 2 games have been critical for the Thunder in winning these.
Yeah, and even the New Orleans game to put the Thunder in that position to have to get beat on a 61-footer. I mean, Shai is stepping up and delivering, and it's not just because the ball is going in the basket.
Right.
Shai, one of the things that he did sensationally in the game against the Clippers is he fouled the right guy. He fouled Justice Winslow as soon as Reggie Jackson got off the ball in that crunch time situation where the Thunder had to foul to try to get the ball back. Shai knew immediately the shooting percentages, and he wrapped up Justice Winslow, a career 60% free throw shooter, and he got the job done.
I remember when he
0 for 2.
I remember when he fouled Winslow and he gave like a fist
Yes,
pump of
yeah.
like, yes, I did it. Like that's a celebratory moment right there because that is sharp execution. And then turn around to the Memphis game and he had the biggest steal of the game there. He had just finished that great layup or the great dunk that we just talked about from that inbounds pass from Josh Giddey. On the other end of the floor, he had this anticipation. It was him, Kenrich, Aaron, Wiggins, Lou, and I think Mike Muscala was out there on the floor. But a very defensive-heavy lineup for the Thunder. And Shea knew all of this stuff was going through his head. We're going to switch 1 through 4. And they have been throwing some really, lazy inbound passes all game long. So if they throw another one, I'm going to go get it. And exactly what he did.
The crazy thing about, to me, the way that Shea described this was, I'd been seeing them make this type of inbounds pass all game long.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I decided to save the time that I went and jumped out and got it for the end of the game in case we needed a steal. And in my mind, maybe I'm just impulsive, but I don't know how he showed the restraint to not just go get one as soon as he could go get one. Mm-hmm. But that chess match, that internal intelligence to recognize hey, this could be a potentially game-changing play that we don't necessarily need in the first quarter,
right?
If it's gonna blow that opportunity later in the game when we absolutely desperately need a stop. I thought that was sensationally brilliant.
You only get one of those,
yeah,
because once you even hint at, I see what you're doing and you should probably tighten up, they're going to tighten up and they're going to be vigilant from that point on.
Right.
And so, like you're saying, that is a really smart move by Shea to be like, okay, I'm going to lull you to sleep here. And then if I ever need this, I can go get it.
Yeah,
I know it's there.
That internal catalog to just have it. But how can you be sure that it's going to happen again later? Yeah. It's amazing. But these are the things that Shea has learned. He's been around so many great veteran players, and you just look at the baton that's been passed off to him over the course of his time from the Clippers to his first year with the Thunder to having guys like Mike Muscala and Derek Favors and everybody with him now. It's been very cool to see him just soak everything up like a sponge. That's the thing that he said. It was the very first thing he said to me when he first came to Oklahoma City. He said, I'm going to be a sponge.
And a sponge he has been.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, and it's not just Shea. All of the guys on this roster have been taking lessons from these very clutch game situations, late game situations, and they're learning. They're growing. You can see it in real time. Josh Giddey, Darius Baisley, really all of these guys, Lou Dort, all these guys who are here in those final moments. They're taking the lessons and they're applying them forward. So this has been really, really fun to watch, and just goes to show any game, you just can't count the Thunder out, and you might just want to watch till the end.
Be sure to tune into Bally Sports Oklahoma or come down to Paycom Center, because if the next few games have been anything like the last few, you're going to want to stay for all 48 minutes.
And you're definitely going to want to stay for the rest of this podcast as well. But we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back right after this.
COOP Ale Works is the proud sponsor of Thunder Basketball Universe. Brewers of the fan favorites F5 IPA and 99-calorie Ice Chest IPA. You'll find those and many more COOP beers at retailers across Oklahoma. Learn more at CoopAleWorks.com.
As you can tell, we're no longer in our studio. That's because we are up at the Thunder Ion, and you know what that means. When we're here, we've got a special guest, and today we are joined by Kenny Hustle himself, Kenrich Williams, K-Rich, right after practice, man. We really appreciate you joining us today.
I appreciate y'all having me. Thank you.
Thanks here for being with us, man.
Yeah, I mean, we just got back from Memphis late last night / early this morning, so practice. Really appreciate your time.
Yeah,
I know.
No problem.
Yeah, what's
anything
that,
for y'all?
What's that like for you guys? You get off the plane. It was probably 1:45, 2 in the morning before you got home and settled, and then you're in the gym. Yeah. What time today for practice?
I got here at about 9:50 to get treatment.
Yeah.
So we right back to it. It's tough, but man, as the years go on, you just kind of get used to it.
Yeah.
Where do you because I imagine, once you're done for the day, you got to be done for the day. What does the rest look like?
Man, I'm not really done for the day, man. I go home and it's like a whole new chapter in my life. I mean, I just got to go home and I got to recharge, of course, but I have a daughter at home.
Right. Yeah.
So, that battery kind of goes back to 100% as soon as I walk in the door. But it's all good though. I love it so much.
Oh,
Yeah,
I can imagine.
There's no laying up on the couch.
Oh, no. At all. Not at all.
Nick is a new dad too, so he gets it. He gets it. Well, in this conversation, we have a game that we want to play with you. It's called the Starting Five.
Okay.
5 rapid fire questions.
Okay.
And they're all Christmas themed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am very much in the holiday spirit, if you can't tell.
All right.
Okay. All right.
You go first, Paris.
All right. First one. Favorite Christmas movie.
Polar Express.
Great choice.
Nice.
Great
Okay.
choice.
Favorite Christmas song.
Favorite Christmas song, man. This Christmas by
Chris Brown.
Yeah, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Brown.
Yeah.
Excellent choice.
Great version.
That's one of my top 5.
Yeah.
Definitely. Best Christmas present you've ever gotten.
Best Christmas present I've ever gotten. This is great questions. I'm gonna just have to say. Oh, you know what? A couple years ago, I got some Martin, the TV show.
Yeah.
I got the whole DVD, so I really like that. I
Like
love
the
Nice.
whole show, like all the seasons.
all the seasons.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I love that.
That's
That's
amazing.
awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
When we flew across the Atlantic to go on a preseason trip,
Mhm.
we went to Spain, I think.
Mhm.
The whole plane was just watching Martin the whole time because that was on like the
Yeah,
video
yeah,
screen.
yeah.
So
Oh,
I
yeah.
always
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
that. That was
yeah.
perfect.
So good.
Yeah.
Love that show.
You got the next one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. The Christmas present that you're most excited to give your daughter this year.
Probably like I got the mini trampoline for her.
Oh, nice.
Because she's just now learning how to jump and stuff. So she puts her hands on the thing and jumps on it. So I think she's gonna look forward to that a lot.
Oh my gosh.
That's
That's
good.
gonna be
That's
so
good stuff.
cute.
Yeah.
That's adorable. Okay. Favorite, or do you have any Christmas traditions?
Yeah, I do. Before we open gifts, we kind of go in the Bible and kind of read the story of how Jesus was born. Faith is real big in my life, so we try to incorporate what Christmas is all about.
When did you start doing that?
My mom, she made us do it every year before we open gifts, and it's something I just kind of carried along with me, trying to pass along to my kids and my family as well. So.
Did your mom do that as a kid too? Like, do you know if her?
No, I don't
parents
think
Okay.
so. But she definitely made sure we knew the meaning of Christmas and why we were opening gifts and stuff like that.
That's really cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's just something that'll stick with you,
Right,
and that's
for
that's
sure.
a great thing to just pass down
For
to,
sure, yeah,
to your kids.
definitely.
And yeah, for sure. Do you also do like big meals on Christmas, or is it more just hanging out and enjoying each other?
It's more of hanging out. I think this year we're gonna try to do some big meals.
Okay.
My wife, she's gonna cook this year. But this is gonna be our first year, kind of just having some family in town. So we're gonna see how it goes.
I remember I talked to you after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You were a little bit.
Oh yeah.
You're a little
yeah.
loaded down
Yeah,
after all the cooking on
Oh, yeah,
Thanksgiving.
yeah,
so
yeah,
we're
yeah.
gonna get part 2 of that.
Oh, for sure. I'm looking forward to it, man.
Do you do any cooking?
I don't do any cooking.
Okay.
I do
So you
not.
leave that all to your wife.
Yeah, I leave it all to
Okay.
her. She takes care of it, and she does a good job of it.
Nice.
That sounds like fun.
We were talking earlier about your daughter, and I can't help but notice. Obviously, she was at the all team community event. We saw her. I saw you the other night. You're walking back to the bench right before the game was about to start, and you were doing this cute little wave up to the crowd. She's like, 10 rows up or whatever. Just what's that like for you, especially given that last year no fans could be in the building, and like now she gets to come to the games and all that.
Yeah, man, it's big for me just to see, family in the stands. Kind of gives you that comfort level. It makes you kind of sit back and kind of appreciate, where you're at. And it kind of gives you extra motivation just to go out and play a little harder for them, especially not only for the team but for them as well. So it's just good to see them in the stands.
Was that something you were used to, like all through high school, TCU, like having your little like family section in the stands? Like even New Orleans is not that far away
Right,
from Waco,
right.
Where you first started your career.
Not in New Orleans, but at TCU, my mom she did a good job of coming up to the games. It was like an hour drive, so she was always at the game, and I knew where she sat, so I always waved at her as well. So it's just kind of like that. Like I said, the comfort. Having family in the stands, like, kind of puts it in perspective. Like, man, this is amazing.
It just has hit me. Like, you've been pretty lucky. You've been within driving distance of
Yeah.
home your
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
like
That's
your whole
pretty
basketball
big.
life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a blessing, man. For real. I love being close to home, and I love it out here in Oklahoma City as well. So
Yeah, I have to imagine. Okay, so remind us how old your daughter is.
she's 2. She just
She's
turned
2.
2. Yeah.
So is she showing signs of like hooper, or is it more like I don't know?
Man, when she first started walking and standing up, she was like dunking the ball on a little kid
Wow.
goal.
Watch out.
But we give her all kind of little different type of sports like soccer and just baseball. Just not gonna force her into anything,
Yeah.
but whatever
Right.
she likes, we're gonna go with the flow.
Did you play a lot of sports, different sports growing up?
Yeah, I played football growing up. Played baseball as well. Ran track. Yeah, I played a lot.
What position did you play in baseball?
Baseball, man, it was a long time ago. I was peewee.
Oh, okay.
I was outfield. But I played football up until my freshman year of high school.
I could see you as like a safety.
Yeah,
Like
I
coming in,
played safety.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
I played safety. Pretty much everything. Receiver.
Yeah.
Everything. I love football too.
Yeah. I mean, 6'7".
Right.
It's a tough receiver to
For
cover.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. In high school, I was small though. In
Oh,
high
okay.
school, I didn't hit my growth spurt until my junior year.
Okay.
So I was y'all's height. So up to my junior year. So, but yeah, football. I love football.
How do you think that like having a late growth spurt like that affected you as a player, obviously as a prospect, schools and everybody are like maybe
Right.
not, you're not on their radar until you have that spurt.
Yeah, that's definitely a key into it. But it gives you a good feel for the game. When I was short, I played a lot of point guard. And I've always kind of, when I hit my growth spurt, you're the tallest person on the team. Then you transition from point guard to big man center. So I've always got to play multiple positions on the court. And I think that helps a lot, just being versatile like that. And also being able to guard many positions is definitely helpful.
Yeah, it gives you kind of an extra perspective. I remember telling this story to Nick, but like when I was growing up, I had the opposite thing. I was the tallest on the team. So they like put me on the block at the 5.
Yep.
And then when I stopped growing, now I'm the point guard.
Right,
And I'm like,
yeah,
okay, I get
yeah,
it though, but
yeah.
I know where the big wants to catch it.
Right,
Like
for sure,
I
yep.
know if they want like a low hand
Right.
or like a bounce pass,
Yeah.
gotta hit them on the money. That perspective
Yep.
is really important.
Get a good feel for the game too. So yeah.
Yeah, and then I imagine playing the other sports, like that's gotta help too.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think football just kind of gave me that instinct. Like I said, football was my main sport I wanted to play until I hit that growth spurt.
Yeah.
When I was young, I wanted to go to the NFL. I never envisioned the NBA. So the football side of it just gives you that instinct. Just being able to be at the right spot, at the right time. Just being around the ball as well. So it definitely helped me.
You can see in your game the closing speed to
Yeah.
get to a loose ball, the angles that you see. I mean, you see angles on cuts of your own cuts, but also like other guys. You find Poku, you find Josh.
Right.
You're seeing those kind of like the triangle
yeah.
passing that you needed
Yeah.
to have
Yeah.
to thwart the defense.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, man, but that's just coming from playing multiple positions, growing up, playing multiple sports. I was just blessed enough to be able to go out and play, multiple positions. My mom, she put me in every sport, even ones I didn't like track and field.
You didn't like track and field?
Oh, I did not like it. I did not like it. Just running
Yeah.
I'm not gonna talk down on the sport, but it's just running just to run. I'd rather
Oh, I understand.
run on the court or run on the field and
Mm-hmm.
be productive with it. But
Yep.
Yeah,
So-
I need
Run
I need
for
a
something.
ball. I need a goal.
I need
a-
something.
and,
Give me a goal. I
Yeah,
mean.
yeah.
Or like running from a defender.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Completely understand that.
Did you have siblings? Do you have siblings growing
Yeah,
up?
I got two brothers, two older brothers.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's where the toughness comes from.
You're
sure.
the youngest of the group.
The youngest, yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man, had to stick up for yourself.
Yep.
Any good
Yeah.
stories on just growing up and having to having to come up with that
Yeah.
K-Rich toughness,
I mean, yeah, pretty much. Also, I always played outside. I grew up down the street from from neighborhood park, so I was always outside. But my brother, he was an older brother, like no other. I mean, kind of put me in an arm chokehold all the time. Just kind of put his weight on me and stuff like that. Made me call for mom a lot of times, but that's a part of it being the youngest. So, but I look back at those times and I definitely helped me a lot.
See, that's why you don't mind diving on the floor for a loose ball, having dog pile on top of you. People,
Yeah,
between
for sure.
football and two older brothers. That's nothing.
Yeah, that's nothing, man. That's nothing. It's fun to me. It's fun to me now.
I feel like we also have we got to talk to you about just these past 3 games for you guys. They've all come down to the wire. You've won 2, you've lost 1, but that late game situation, just from your perspective, somebody who's been in the league for a little while now, what are those moments like late in games for you guys?
They're definitely it's definitely a good experience for us. Like I said last night, I think that I don't remember having a game this year winning by 15 or more. And if we want to get to where we want to go, it's just playoffs and the big stage. Games are going to be close like this. So kind of getting used to those game-like situations where it comes down to the last minute of the game, I think it's very helpful for us moving forward, and definitely for the young group that we have, just hitting those situations like we do at practice. The coach, all the coaches do a great job of putting us in position to be successful late in the game. And of course, we have great guys on our team that step up to the occasion. But it's definitely helpful for us.
Those moments are just, I don't know, they have to just be so rewarding after the fact when you've executed to a T. Like I even think about like Shea. We were talking about this earlier. Like Shea gives this big fist pump when he fouls Justice Winslow, and you guys had the patience to not foul Reggie Jackson, who's like a 90% free throw shooter, and we're talking about in the Clippers game. Like, what does it take to develop even that level of understanding of the situation in those high pressure moments? Yeah,
man. It's just coming in every day. The coaches, like I said, they do a great job of hitting the situations like that. They tell us before the game. They tell us during practice. It's like today. We did multiple in the game situation stuff today, and it kind of once you get used to it, it's like second nature. To be honest, it's expected. You're expected to go out and perform and do the right thing late in the game, and just make the right reads. To be honest, like you said, we have strategies in play to where we don't want to foul great free throw shooters. We want to trap the ball on great free throw shooters and make them pass it to somebody who isn't a great free throw shooter, and just kind of give us a chance in a situation late in the game like that.
One play that has stuck out for both of us, it was this past game in Memphis. It was Shea's steal that gave you guys a little bit of an extra lead. It was you, Aaron, Lou, and Shea out there. They were lined up, and you guys knew that they were going to switch 1 through 4. And one thing that Shea said was they'd been throwing this, lazy kind of soft pass inbounds all game long, and he was holding off and waiting until he needed it to go get it. I feel like that, that's tough to do, but also says a lot about kind of the
mental.
I'd have no restraint to not go try to grab the very first one, thinking I might not get that opportunity again.
For sure.
Right.
Definitely, man. It's also a part of just having that instinct. Shea does a good job of kind of reading guys, and like you said, man, they were throwing it the whole game, and it's not a better chance than late in the game like that when we really need it. And he stepped up, like y'all said.
That and then just the emotion after when it all works. That's what sticks with me is the fist pump from Shea when you foul the right guy, and then getting the steal, the free throws, all of that stuff working together, and then you're on the winning side of things. It just has to be such a big relief, but also just satisfaction.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's definitely good to be on that winning side of it. With the New Orleans game, it was tough because he hit a tough shot, but when you're on the other side of it, it feels so great.
I want to ask you one more question about your cutting. Like, you're one of the best cutters on the team, in the league. And some guys, you watch them, and when they're off ball, it's like a light bulb goes off, and they realize, like, oh, shoot, I'm supposed to cut right now.
Yeah.
There's no lag time
right.
with you. Like, you just do it.
Yeah.
And, like, how? Why? Like, how has that been? How's that been ingrained in you? How is that second nature for you, where there's not even a thought about it? It's just when the opening is there, you're already gone.
Yeah, man. It pretty much comes down to my rookie year. I kind of struggled just to find ways to kind of be effective on the offensive end, and I had some pretty good coaches who taught me kind of how to cut and when to cut. I was always a good cutter, but I never understood like when to cut, and so it's all about knowing when to cut, knowing who you're playing with. I know Gid is gonna find me every time. Also, I mean, just it's game plan as well. Game plan. Some of those cuts are drawn up by coach. Okay. Some of them are off instinct. But it's just about kind of just knowing your personnel, reading your man as well. If he has his back turned or his head turned towards the ball, that's a great opportunity for me to cut. And I might not get the ball, but it might open up the backside for an open shot. Yeah, it's been real helpful for my game, cutting.
Yeah, that's like it's like the offensive lineman, like
right.
doing their blocks. You know, it might not open the hole for the running back that time, but you're open something up.
Yep.
I think about Aaron Wiggins, just as you're saying all of that, and something that Mark Dagnall's talked about is like rookie two-way guy trying to figure out how to get his athleticism into the game offensively and not just be a guy that's standing in the corner waiting to catch the ball. They send him down to send him to the G League with kind of that homework assignment.
Right.
Do you see cutting and like your proficiency? Is that like is that a way for him to get his offense in the game and you can kind of show him the ropes on that?
Yeah, definitely, man. Any chance I get, I always try to give pointers to Wiggs, and not only to Wiggs but everybody else. I think that cutting is effective. Not only cutting, but also just kind of playing off the catch, driving when the ball is sprayed to you, kicked to you. But it's definitely, I think it can definitely help him. Just adding that element, he can already shoot the ball well. But once you add like another aspect to your game, it's that much more, a chance for you to be on the court, because he already does a lot of good things for us and defends well, and like I said, he shoots the ball well. So just adding more ways to be aggressive on the offensive end is definitely going to help him. And you got to understand, he's a rookie too. Yeah. When I was a rookie, like I said, I was going through the same thing. So it's going to take time, just for all the rookies. But I'm always down to help the guys learn new things on the court.
I just know it's fun to see that lineup when it's you, Lou, and Wiggs on the floor at the same time.
I would be petrified.
As a player. How am I going to drive?
For sure. Yeah, definitely, man. I love playing with those guys, man. The whole team, really, man. It's amazing to play with them, man. It just gives you that extra boost of confidence and makes you feel young. I mean, I'm 27, but makes you feel like you're 21 playing with them guys. So, I always look forward to playing with them.
I do have one more question, just kind of back to cutting.
Mm-hmm.
The other element of this is like getting to the offensive glass. Like you said, like you might not get the layup, but the guy on the backside might be open and the shot might go up and you might be available to, grab that offensive rebound.
Yep.
You are always all over the offensive glass, whether it's grabbing the board or like just tipping it out for like a second chance.
Right.
How much of that have you seen this group grow in? Because I know you guys have been kind of looking for those opportunities to get guys in there and find those second chance points. Just how have you felt like, either it's you or, Darius, even Poku, finding those opportunities to go to the glass?
Yeah, I think it's definitely helpful for us. The coaches always kind of preach to us to try to get extra second chance points. And like you said, it might not be a putback, but it might be a tip out that leads to a bucket. And we know that we're not going to be the best offensive team, so you got to find different ways to kind of get going. That might be crashing offensive glass, like you said. And I think that we so far we've done a great job of just staying on the glass, creating those second chance points, and just taking what the defense gives us also, and just competing super hard.
I got one last thing for you. And just comes from earlier when you're saying, I'm 27, but I feel like I'm 21.
Right.
And it reminds me of the fact that, like, people sometimes think of player development as something that happens before you're 24 years old, but that's clearly not the case. For sure. You have been a prime example of that. I think about your first 2 years in the league as a 3-point shooter, 33%, 26%. Last year, you come to the Thunder, 44%, one of the best 3-point shooting marks of any player for the Thunder ever off the bench. You're at 41% again. So I'm just curious, like, was there something different about the opportunity in Oklahoma City, or the situation here, or the player development program, or is there something different about your work, your the way that you approach your personal player development? Like, what has been the reason for such a massive jump in your 3-point shooting?
Man, it's pretty much all those things that you hit on. Player development. The coaching staff does a great job of kind of putting you in positions to where you get game-like shots at practice. But another thing is just kind of just being comfortable. I can honestly say that I wasn't the most confident shooter my first 2 years in the league. So it's just about being comfortable, settling in, and just trusting the work that you put in. I put a lot of work in. The whole team does, but just being comfortable, having confidence to step up to the shot if you miss one, having the confidence to step up and shoot the next one. And I think that's the main thing, man. That's kind of 90% of the game is confidence and mental aspect of it. Just having the confidence to step up and shoot it.
Sure, it must be very freeing to not feel like, okay, if I miss 2 in a row, I'm not going to get yanked. Like,
for sure, definitely, man, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, good deal.
Wow. This has been so much fun, Kenrich. I don't want to wrap the podcast.
I can talk basketball with you all day long. Like, it's so good.
I know. Yeah. Well, one last thing for me before we let you go, and you kind of hinted at it, but like when you come in here, you feel the coaches instill you with confidence. Right. You love playing with your teammates.
Yeah.
What is it like for you to come in every single day?
Yeah.
With this group? It's
great. It's like it's like a joy. I have joy coming in every day. And we can get beat by 70. We can come in and win a game, but everybody's attitude here is the right type of attitude that you want to have for a winning organization and culture. We do a good job of just keeping that level head, not getting too high, not getting too low. The environment here is great, man. Like I said, I mean, it's not too hot. I mean, it's like you have fun.
Yeah.
Coming in every day and being around those guys, they make the game so much easier for you, especially when you can come in after maybe you have a bad game, or like I said, we get beat by 70 and everybody's coming in and we're smiling and laughing like we just won. And I think that's the best part of this organization. And it's something that really helps a lot.
Mm-hmm. Getting back to 0-0, but also having fun too.
Having fun. That's the main thing. Having fun with it.
Well, I can tell you one thing. This podcast has been a lot of fun for sure. Yeah. We have really enjoyed ourselves, and we really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today.
Thank you so much.
Kenrich. Come back and join us sometime.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll see you before Christmas, but Merry Christmas.
All right, Merry Christmas. Thank y'all.
We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back right after this. We're back in the studio, and it is now that point in the podcast where we want to bless your timeline. And really, it's just this whole week has been a blessing because it's Christmas week. It's
Yeah.
so fun. It's so festive. Our office, clearly, I mean, like, we've got Christmas trees and everybody is just
Our producer, Matt Bishop, bringing the juice here today.
doing the thing.
Yeah.
And so we had our big holiday, we had our department-wide Christmas party
Right.
earlier this week. And so now we had our big company-wide Christmas party. And these are a big deal.
They are a big deal, except we weren't there. We were in Memphis. We were doing our game prep in our hotel room, and we were getting these updates. Our team photographer, we mentioned Zach Beaker, was like texting our little group, letting us know who was in the running for things. And Paris, while producer Matt Bishop and I were in the running, we were down to the final 12 for the big grand prize and ultimately came up short. You won one of these little side prizes.
I did.
And she wasn't even there to receive it, but she won. And so that was a nice little pick-me-up yesterday.
Oh my gosh, it was the best surprise of the day, truly. Getting ready for the Memphis game, and I get a text from Zach Beaker like, hey, you want a Mickey Mantle gift card?
Great steakhouse in downtown OKC. So yeah, you'll have to slide your way over there at some point this holiday season.
That'll be really, really nice. And I mean, it's the holiday season too. It's just great to have these Christmas parties, even if you're not there. It's just so much fun.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Yeah, and we're very fortunate this year that the Thunder's got no travel on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. We don't play on Christmas Day this year. We play at home on December 26th. That's always very fortunate. So family, friends, people can be in town for this, and I know I'm looking forward to it. So it should be good.
It should be a lot of fun. Well, before we let you go, we got to let you know what's on tap before Christmas. And the Thunder's got 2 games, and they come in the form of a home road back-to-back. So it's going to be a nice little test for the Thunder before they get 2 days for Christmas Eve and Christmas. Thunder's going to play Denver at home here in Paycom Center and then fly out to Phoenix, Arizona to take on the Suns for the first time this season. That's going to be on the 23rd.
Heck of a back-to-back. The Nuggets, obviously one of the better teams in the Western Conference, reigning MVP Nikola Jokic. Their last game was postponed because of the Brooklyn Nets health and safety protocol issue. So they're going to be kind of in a strange spot, rested, but also kind of out of their rhythm of what they were anticipating on the schedule. And then the Suns, they've been just a buzzsaw this season. So going to be a big gear up for the Thunder before Christmas and try to steal at least one of those games against 2 big-time opponents.
A really, really good test for this team going into Christmas. But that's all for today's podcast. We want to thank you so much for listening. Be sure to like, rate, and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Be sure to check us out on YouTube as well. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much to our producer, Matt Bishop. And until next time, Thunder up and Merry Christmas.
That was awesome.
Yes.